The idea of conspiracy is something that your mind wants to create, invent, analyze, value, judge, and then take action. Because every thought would then be classed as a conspiracy, because that's what takes place. That's why this speaker book is constantly pointing at whatever is taking place in your life, within you. Even your thoughts, even your mind, even your body is truly pertinent to you, is truly for you. There is no other way outside of you and inside of you. The Bhagavad Gita, when Shiva or Krishna, I cannot remember which one, and Arjuna are speaking about the states of consciousness. There is human consciousness, spirit consciousness, cosmic consciousness, God consciousness, being consciousness, transcendental consciousness. There are many states of consciousness, all within the one consciousness. It is up to your quality of your mind, connected to your true purpose of being here, and what together is understood as what is required for the one that you are to experience what you are meant to experience in this human state. We have a hierarchy of, we have a universal hierarchy, a world hierarchy of what we perceive in our whole educational understanding of what is taking place as God to be main consciousness, top consciousness, and human to be bottom scale consciousness. And then there's a transcending of through each stage to reach this ultimate God consciousness. And that may be the end result. That may be that root of A and Z. But between B and Y is your root. It is your root. Transcendental consciousness may be the top for you in this experience of life as a human. Human consciousness may be what you are only here to experience. Human consciousness is to accept yourself as a human being and get on with it and get through this suffering world and fluctuating experiences of ultimate joy and depression and pain, and at the same time, at the end of this body life, say, well, it wasn't actually that bad of a life. There were bad days, there were good days, there were exceptional days, there were really tragic days. But overall, everything was humanly quite okay for me. This one that is only understands this human consciousness. Many, and you will belong to a type of people that are similar to your human consciousness ways. So you will not be surrounded by transcendental beings, godly beings. You will not be surrounded by cosmic beings, all human states, but experiencing different versions of this consciousness. So any speaker that speaks about what is true in a whole, I mean, there is the whole truth, but the contents of this whole truth for each one is a totally different journey, a totally different map, a totally different method and way. So this speaker is speaking about, in its own experiences, that transcendental consciousness is top for this one. God, it may have been bypassed, it may have been missed, it may still have to come. But the idea to transcend from this human state into this being state is not now an idea, it is just an experience, a happening, something that is taking place. It matters not what you transcend, what transcends, or what it transcends into, or how it is transcending. It is the awareness that the consciousness that you are experiencing is that quality of consciousness. And the Bhagavad Gita only picks that main ones. There are many varieties within this main ones. There are many varieties of transcendental consciousness, of human consciousness, of spirit consciousness, of cosmic consciousness, of God consciousness. It is your journey. It is up to you, not in your ego head state, but in your true state, to simply allow whatever is taking place to take place. And it will take you safely on the journey, and it will take you to that end product of body going and knowing when the body passes that I know where I'm going now, wherever I am. I know what the next stage is. And these different qualities of consciousness that the Bhagavad Gita mentions in their hierarchical positions, like everything that begins from one hole, like one big whole bubble, and when it pops, another bubble appears, and it pops, and another bubble appears, and it pops. You see, inside human consciousness, based on the Bhagavad Gita's hierarchical or differential qualities of consciousness, there is a God consciousness in human consciousness. There is a spirit consciousness within human consciousness. Cosmic, universal, spirit consciousness, transcendental within consciousness, within human consciousness. And that's the whole basis behind this biblical Christ, when the Jews, when these wonderful priests, I don't remember their names, but they said to Christ, what makes your God so superior? Because in their human consciousness state, they also experienced or knew or believed in this human God. But what Christ was speaking about was God, within God consciousness. No superiority, you see. Because consciousness is consciousness. You see, you can fall into the trap of saying, well, God within God consciousness must be superior to God within human consciousness. All the same God. Different experiences. Different transcendences for each individual human being. So there was a conflict, because Christ says that this God is superior. This is God in God consciousness. And this may be so in our mind-based, hierarchical, created ways. But in truth, only one whole consciousness. That what is within it are different names appearing in different qualities as different versions of consciousness intertwining within itself. And Christ made the mistake of saying his God was superior. Or maybe not so. Maybe these priests thought that Christ's God was mistaken as a superior God to their God. We will experience a God in every state. We may not experience it in every state, but it will exist in every state, whether it's believed, hoped for, witnessed, experienced, touched, tasted. It is just a confirmation to say, human consciousness may be over for you. Next stage, while you are a human, while you are appearing in a human body as Christ did, one body may be able to experience every state of consciousness within every state of consciousness. You understand this? You can experience every state within that human consciousness state in this life. You can experience every state within that cosmic conscious life, including all the others, and it goes on and on and on, repeating itself. Only consciousness in its superiority and inferiority and qualities and values and everything that exists within this. Transcending is an imaginatory consciousness, because you're imagining yourself out of this human state. That fantastical way of looking. I wonder what it would be like to be an ant. Shall I transcend into this ant state? You see, it's fearful for a mind who thinks ants are inferior. But it's not really about returning or going to an ant state. It has to be a more aware, pure, greater, intellectual, wise state that is transcending. Don't compare your experience, your awakening, your enlightenment to any other. Don't try and move into another realm. Don't follow Buddhism if it's not in your gut, in your core. Don't follow anything that is not really true to you. There's nothing wrong with being human. Because if it's your way, it's your way. Trust in what is taking place within your life. Accept. And it will be a nice life. Trust means whatever will be, will be. Acceptance means, well, okay, on top of this trust, I will accept whatever will be, will be. And therefore, at the end of this human life, it will not be, oh, I had good days and bad days. It will be, you know what, it was a really, really good quality life. And I am so lucky and happy to have been part of it. And I am grateful to every experience and every being and person that I met in my state of being, state of human. Faith. Well, faith. There is no way there can be a person having faith. There is only faith. Faith in what is taking place is not trust. It's a faith, it's a knowing. I don't trust it to be good at the end. I have faith in whatever it is. It is what it is. And there is no end.